Hey, all you apes out there. This is Jim Marin coming to you from the Great Canadian Apes. And wow, we took another beating today. Today, price action down 10%. We're going to be looking today for, I think it's still a very good long term stock, but it sure is getting beaten up early in this new year. Um, we're going to have a further look at our all-star team of world-renowned doctors. We're going to be going through this week's option chain and implied volatility for the January 2024s and our thoughts on the options. We're going to be going through Ortex and Fintel short squeeze data, the dark pool data, and giving you our price target for the week. We'll give you an update on the potential upcoming patent, which was supposed to be released today. And now we're going to be taking a break from daily updates because, got to tell you, it takes me about 3 hours to put these together. I know some people could do it in 10 minutes. It takes me about 3 hours. And James is working on his releases of his new album, connecting with people in LA currently, that sort of thing. And so, yeah, Prog Stick looking very good long term. Not financial advice. This might be one of the last videos for a while from us. So we still love Prog, but cheers to you and thank you very much for liking, subscribing, all that sort of good stuff. I'm sure we'll see you again. Um, Cheers to that. So, we did go through a lot of the progenity corporate presentation. We'll be going. We'll still put out some videos from time to time. Now, hey, Proc. Now, she's the only one that has this capsule DDS. It'll go right to the affected area and help it out. And there's all kinds of these that have presented this on Friday that have been approved from the FDA to be able to have a piece of that 20 billion market of Humira. And so Progenity will have many suitors to choose from, and who knows, maybe Prog will connect with them all. We've been going through Progenity's all-star lineup of doctors, taking a look at Dr. Séverine Vermeer. She was the past president of the European Crohn's and Colitis organization. On Friday, we went through bio of Dr. Geert Danes, who will be presenting both in Belgium and in Austria, and he was the founder of the European Crohn's and Colitis organization, and was part of the Chicago hospitals as well. And today we're going to take a look at Bram Verstock. And Dr. Verstock graduated medical school at the KU Leuven in 2013 and obtained his Belgian board certification in gastroenterology in 2021. During his training, he performed internships at the Mater Dei Hospital, Ons Lieve, Vro, Zeeskind, Imelda Ziekenhuis in Bonn Heiden, Belgium, and at the University Hospitals in Leuven. In 2015, he partially interrupted his residency in gastroenterology and hepatology to start his PhD with support of the Flemish Foundation for Scientific Research, predicting outcome in inflammatory bowel diseases, a multi-omics approach, creating opportunities for personalized medicine, which he successfully defended in 2019. Congratulations. During the first year of his PhD, he worked at the University of Cambridge and Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge, United Kingdom, in the lab of Professor Kenneth Smith in collaboration with Dr. James Lee. Bram received several awards along with professors, including the Professor D. Dr. Jean de Groot in 2013 and another prize in 2020. He's also received several research grants, including the European Crohn's and Colitis Organization multi-year research grant, and he's with us in Progenity, as well as a regular ECCO grant, a grant from Helmsley Foundation, the Belgian Inflammatory Bowel Disease Research and Development Group, Bird, and the Flemish Association for Crohn's and Colitis Patients. In 2020, he qualified for the semifinals of the Flemish PhD Cup, which is one of the top PhDs in the world. Now, his translation research mainly focuses on the development of predictive and prognostic markers for a more personalized medicine in IBD, as well as on further unraveling IBD disease heterogeneity, including perianal disease and fibrostructuring disease. He co-founded the International Colibri PROG GAMMA Consortium in IBD. His clinical research is focusing on monitoring tools including non-invasive intestinal ultrasound and artificial intelligence, real-life IBD data, including therapeutic drug monitoring. This is what he's doing with PROG. Bram Verstock is a board member of the Young European Crohn's and Colitis Organization Committee, as well as board member of the Young section of Vlemies Vereniging van Gastroenterologen. Bram is a member of the editorial board of the Journal of Crohn's and Colitis and reviewer for many gastroenterology journals and conferences. Now he's going to be presenting twice. One of the things that he's going to be presenting is in about 3 weeks' time, the 2 weeks, on Wednesday, February 9th, the endoscopic outcome of tofacitinib treated patients correlated with tofacitinib tissue exposure. And he's going to be there along with many from progenity, and including the good doctors Danes and Vermeer, which we highlighted earlier. What is this all about? Small molecules are being added to the treatment armamentarium of ulcerative colitis, in contrast to monoclonal antibodies. Very little known about their PK and PD profile. The aim was to assess PK and PD changes in tofacitinib treated in UC, so in ulcerative colitis patients, with a focus on STAT3 phosphorylation, as it has been proposed as a marker of efficiency. So they took 30 UC patients and went through a full study with them. The results came in, and they were very, very good results. And conclusions: we could demonstrate for the first time a mucosal exposure response relationship with TFC in UC patients. So they had real life patients, and they had the DDS pill working for them. It went right to the affected area, and they had very positive results. Additionally, STAT3 ratio was identified as the potential molecule marker to track response directly linked with mode of action for TFC. Whether an increased local dose of TFC could result in better efficacy without compromising safety should be further explored. And also there's been talk of perhaps lowering the amount because it was so effective in these studies, that maybe all these side effects that happen with many of our pharma drugs, if you use less of it, then maybe the side effect, but it goes right to the point, then the efficiency will be there, the efficacy will be there, but the side effects won't. Because for two reasons. Number one, you could be using less of the drug. Number two, you could go right to the point, and so you're not traveling through your entire body to be able to get the drug. It goes right to the affected area. Okay, so On the Frankfurt market, Prague was down 9%. Previous close was 1.48 euros. Opened at a high of 1.48, had a high of 1.48. We had a low of 1.34 and closed at 135 euros, which is $1.53 US. Price action for today, Prague was down, ouch again, 10%. Previous close was at buck 51. Opened at actually previous close should have been, I'm sorry, that should read 169. We opened at 159, 10 cents below. The high was only 161. We had a low of 150, closed at 151 on volume of 11 million. The SPY was down, the NASDAQ was down, the Russell was down, everything was down. Today's major level of support was $1.50. Level of resistance was $1.57. Past levels of resistance was at 173, 188, $2. Levels to watch on the downside, the $1.50. That's going to be huge if that breaks through. And then your next could be like at $1.23. Until a major catalyst occurs, Prague could go lower. Our price target for this week is still $1.50 to $2. Not financial advice. I'd like to take a look at the daily for today, and we see that after hours it went up 6 cents, 5-6 cents, which gives back a couple percentage points, so that we're only down 7.7%, maybe lucky number sevens, who knows, on today. We see that it started and quickly went down to the 154 with, from 9:45 to about 1 p.m. was in this channel in between the 154 and the 157. Broke through that. I bought a couple more dips, a few more thousand. I'm still in this multiple 5 figures. And it's going in between. So I definitely still believe in this stock. I do think it could be a $10-15 stock within the next year or two, and so it's going to be 10xing where it is right now. Not financial advice. From 1 o'clock on to about 3:15, it was within the 152 to 154 channel, and then broke through that and went to the 150 for the last 45 minutes of the day. After hours, I've said it's higher. Now, what was interesting was the 50-day was getting very close to have that golden cross, potentially crossing over the 200-day moving average, but was unsuccessful in doing so until the after hours. And then after hours, the 50-day had its golden cross moving over the 200-day as we saw it move up to the 156. Taking a look at the options chain, and this should have read, I'm sorry, I'm getting tired. These are PROG calls expiring January 21st. Okay, all these numbers guaranteed are the ones that were updated as of today. I did this at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And yeah, only 3% in the money, 97% out of the money, 19% out of the money, 81% in the money as far as the puts goes. The hedgies have a lot to gain closing this price this week at less than $1.50, so that if they can slide this over to the other side, notice that they're going to have this bar, and everything else over here. They slide it over to less than 150, they're going to have everything over here, so they're going to have about 98% of the puts. They're going to have again about 90 something percent of the calls. Okay. For options expiring January 2024, take a look at the implied volatility. It's in around the 120s. At current selling price of $1.51 for me, I just buy in more shares, because when you take a look at the price, at the money at a buck 50. The bid's 89 cents. The ask is 96. So really, you're going to pay 90 cents for a buck 50 call when it's a buck 51 right now. So, that's 60% of the actual purchase price. So you'd have to add the 90 cents plus 150 to get a total break even at 240. So for me, for the extra 60 cents, I just rather buy the share. And this will also tend to drive price up if you're buying the shares. If you don't want this thing to totally go down, you got to buy some shares. So yeah, long-term calls are good, but if you're going for the long-term call, you might want to consider, might as well buy the stock, especially if you're looking at like a $2 call. $2, you're spending 80 cents on nothing. It's 50 cents out of the money right now, and so you'd be paying a total break even at 280 for a buck 50 share. So that's why, today I picked up a few more thousand. Taking a look at the Ortex data. Into the shorts, we've got the short interest change was 0.35%, with 2.14 million borrowed shares, 2.22 million returns. So that basically balanced. The utilization is at 80%. We're not seeing any big short squeeze anything if the utilization is anything under 90. The cost to borrow is only at 17%. My threshold for that, I'd be looking at something less, that at least at 100% to be able to have a real short squeeze potential. Days to cover is only 0.4, so they have a ton of opportunity to come in and out of the market and to be able to change price. Shares on loan is at 23.28 million, so versus the current short interest of 12.59 million, there's approximately 10.6 million out there in somebody's back pocket, not using but already borrowed. The percent of free float on loan is at 17%, and the estimated short interest percent of free float is under 10% now at 9.42. So that's well under the 20%, let's say, threshold level that I'd be looking at for a short squeeze. Okay, take a look at Fintel, and 15.4 million shares, short interest, 1.52 days to cover. The short interest percent of float is at 11.47, so they have it slightly higher. Dark pool short volume, 2.8 million. The dark pool short volume ratio is at 50%. And so that's huge, right? Call your broker. Don't have it go through the dark pool. Not your sales, not your buys. Short share availability, it did go down to 90,000, but then by the end of the day, and now it's at 450,000. So it's at a relatively low rate of interest of 14% as far as things go in the market. These can get up into multiple 100% for the percentage for shorting it, and the ratio for short volume through the dark pool consistently has been in around the 50%. So something must still be going on with this stock. The latest results are in for failure to delivers, and look, they still have failure. They don't care. They don't care. They have failure to delivers every day. They don't care. They know they have enough power to manipulate the market, and so they do. Okay, very good. Okay, big news today, or what we were hoping for big news today, was the release of their patent, 844427, as posted on our channel, and this was a snippet from one of ours that went back 3 weeks. And so this was from around December 30th. As posted on our channel earlier today on December 30th, True Demon posted a news update on PROG yesterday, which uncovered a patent that was not supposed to be announced until January 18th. Well, January 18th was today, but was put up on the U.S. patent website too, and too early in error. Now, I saw this posting on the U.S. patent website last week in around January 10th. And to take a look at it, I don't know if you can zero in on that. I tried to make it as clear as possible. But the issue date says January 18th, 2022. Gives the patent number 11224364, with the application number being 15/84427 to Progenity in San Diego. And this is the confirmation number. So this isn't just anything. This is the issue notification of the patent. And when I went in to see this patent early last week, it was there. And nothing materialized today. And I don't know why. But when I was in the U.S. patent website, I looked at the history of this one patent, and it had about 30 to 50 different entries starting minimum 6 years ago, maybe even all the way back to 2013 that they've been working on this. So this is a huge patent, and I don't know what's up. Maybe it was had something to do with Martin Luther King Day and having a holiday yesterday. Maybe it's going to be pushed till tomorrow, and maybe we'll see it then. And on that note, I hope you had a wonderful Martin Luther King Day yesterday with your families, and what an incredible man who changed the world. And cheers to him. He was an awesome man. And so today we're down 10%. We looked at our all-star team of world-renowned doctors. We have several working for us and believing in what they've created and what they've been part of. And they're going to be doing that European tour in February, starting on the 8th in Belgium, 8th and 9th in Belgium, and going on to later. The Ortex and Shortel and Fintel short squeeze data was there. It's not a short squeeze at this time at all. Our price target for this week is going to be at around the $1.50. I hope the patent comes through. If the patent doesn't come through, we're going to slide through to like 120s. But if the patent does come through, I believe it's going to go, the $1.50 to $2 and upwards from there. And yeah, we're going to be taking a break from daily updates. It takes me hours to put them together. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking. Thank you for your comments. And thank you for being part of the ape community. And even though you don't see us, from me and James, wish you guys all the best in Prague and all the best in the future. Thank you. Take care.